When they first stepped out of Newark Airport, the air felt thin and cold, like it had been filtered through a metal pipe. Ria tucked her hands into the sleeves of her jacket, standing close to her younger brother, Arjun. Their parents walked a little ahead, Papa pushing the luggage cart, Mummy clutching the folder with passports and visa papers as if someone might snatch them away at any moment. "Look, look," Arjun whispered, bumping her elbow. "All the cars are big. Even taxis." Ria nodded, pretending calm. Inside, her heart was beating fast. She was 16, top of her class back in Ludhiana, the one teacher said would make it to IIT one day. Arjun was 14, and already solving math problems from her old books. They'd always imagined foreign countries as something like movie sets, bright, shiny, unreal. Now it was real, and the reality was fluorescent lights, tired airport staff, and the smell of fried food floating from somewhere down the corridor. At the arrival gate, Mummy's sister waved so hard her arm looked like it might fall off. "Over here! Over here!" Marcy cried. Beside her stood two boys, taller than Ria, with American sneakers and hoodies. One of them wore a college sweatshirt, Rutgers in big red letters. The other was in a wrinkled polo and a 7-Eleven jacket, the green and red logo stitched on his chest. "These are my sons," Marcy said proudly, hugging Mummy and then Ria and Arjun. "This is Rohit, he's in college now. And this is Karan, he helps me at the store." Karan grinned, white teeth against his brown skin. "Welcome to New Jersey, cousins," he said. "Get ready to freeze." The basement apartment smelled faintly of haldi, old carpet, and something Ria couldn't name. It was smaller than their two-bedroom house back in India, with low ceilings and one tiny window near the ceiling where you could see only passing shoes and car tires. "I know it's small," Marcy kept saying. "Just for some time. First see school, then maybe you shift near good district. For now, this is home." They unpacked in the one bedroom they would share. 2 mattresses on the floor for Ria and Arjun. Their parents would sleep on the sofa bed in the living room, the same room where Marcy's family watched TV every night. Still, when Ria lay down that first night, jet-lagged and staring at the bumpy ceiling, she whispered to Arjun, "It will be worth it. Here there are opportunities. High school, then good college. Maybe MIT, maybe Stanford." Arjun sighed happily. "And maybe snow," he added. Getting into high school was shockingly easy. The guidance counselor at the nearby public school looked at their Indian mark sheets and said, "You two are ahead of most kids your age. You'll do fine." She smiled like it was nothing. Ria and Arjun walked out of the office with new schedules, ID cards, and bus routes written down. "That's it?" Ria asked. "No entrance exam." Arjun shrugged, amazed. "We just start on Monday." Their parents were so proud, they made halwa that night with the last of the desi ghee they'd brought. "See." Papa's eyes shone. "America is land of opportunity. You work hard, you go forward. No bribery, no reservations, no nonsense. Just study." Mummy wiped her eyes with her dupatta. "You both will go so far," she said in Punjabi. "One day we will have our own house here, and people in India will say, 'Look, their children are engineers in America.'" Ria believed it then, completely. Karan, the 7-Eleven cousin, was the first one to show them another side of this new world. He picked Ria and Arjun up from the school parking lot the second week, leaning against his old Honda Civic, music thumping faintly from inside. "Hop in," he called. "I told Ma I'll bring you home." They sat in the back. The car smelled of fast food and something sharp, like mint gum hiding another scent. "You kids liking school?" Karan asked as he drove. "Yeah," Arjun said. "It's different. Everybody calls teachers by first name. And they don't beat anyone," Ria added, still surprised. Karan laughed. Give it time. You'll get used to it. No uniforms, no morning assembly, no principal's bamboo stick. He looked at them in the mirror. But listen, here you also have other things. Freedom. Don't be too scared. Enjoy a little. Yaar. You're in America now. He turned into the 7-Eleven parking lot instead of going home. Come, he said. I have to do small work. You can see my kingdom. Inside, the bright lights made everything look unreal. The freezer doors, the candy aisle, the hot dogs rotating slowly in a metal machine. Marcy was at the counter, scanning items with practiced speed. She smiled when she saw them and slipped a packet of chips across the counter. Welcome to the family business, she joked. Ria watched Karan move around like he owned the place, restocking shelves, chatting with customers, tossing jokes in easy English. He seemed confident in a way she and Arjun did not yet feel. Later that evening, when he dropped them back, he said casually, "Tomorrow, come with me again. I'll show you where kids really hang out after school." Ria hesitated. "But Mummy." "I told Ma I'll drive you," Karan said smoothly. "Relax. I'll drop you on time. You are not in India anymore, cousin. Here, teenagers aren't prisoners." His words stayed with her. He took them to a park near the river, where clusters of high school kids sat on benches or leaned against cars. There was laughter, music, someone playing with a frisbee, someone vaping under a tree. Karan parked under a big bare tree and turned off the engine. "See," he said. "After school, people come here before going home. This is where you make friends." Ria watched, fascinated and nervous. Back in India, their evenings were tuition, homework, and home. Parks were for children and old people, not teenagers. A group of kids from their school waved, and Karan waved back. "Here," he said suddenly, reaching under his seat. He pulled out a brown paper bag and, from it, a small bottle. "Just a little. Welcome to America drink." Arjun's eyes widened. "What is that?" "Just beer, yaar. Nothing heavy." Karan twisted the cap, the faint hiss of gas escaping. "Everyone drinks here. Your classmates, the good students, all of them. You think they're toppers just by studying? They also enjoy life." Ria felt her heart pound. She'd seen drinking in movies, heard whispers about it. But in real life? In broad daylight? In a park? "Karan," she began. He smiled, easy and teasing. "One sip only. You both are so smart, such good kids. This won't destroy you. You know how to control yourself. Or what? Are you still small? Afraid?" The word stung her pride more than she expected. "I'm not afraid," she said quietly. He offered the bottle to her. The glass was cold in her hand. The smell was strange, bitter, like medicine and metal. "Just to taste," he said. She took a small sip. It was awful. But when she swallowed, a warm line traveled down her throat, spreading into her chest. She coughed, wiping her lips with the back of her hand, embarrassed but also weirdly thrilled. Arjun watched her, then reached for the bottle. "My turn," he said. Ria should have stopped him. A voice inside her said, "No, not him. He's only 14. But the other voice, the one that had been standing in snow at the bus stop, feeling invisible in the vast American school, the one tired of being just the new Indian girl, whispered, "Let him feel big. Let him belong." She didn't stop him. Karan laughed as Arjun made a face at the taste. "Good. No," he said. "You'll get used to it." That was the first time. It didn't remain the last. At first, it was occasional. Once a week in the park, one small bottle shared. Ria told herself it was nothing. After all, she was still studying hard. Her grades were good. She just had a secret now, one that made her feel less like an outsider. Arjun slipped faster. He began to look for Karan after school, even on days without park visits. Some afternoons, when Ria went straight to the library, he would disappear and come home late, smelling faintly of something she now recognized. Their parents didn't notice at first. They were too busy. Papa got a night shift at a warehouse, lifting boxes until his back hurt so badly he walked with a slight bend. Mummy helped Marcy at the store, doing morning shifts and weekends, her feet swollen by evening. They repeated the same sentence every day. "We are doing this for you too. Study hard. Make our struggle worth it." Ria nodded solemnly and went back to her phone, her homework half finished, her mind already at the park. The fall turned into winter. Snow came, like Arjun had wanted, but it was no longer magical. It meant waiting in the cold for the bus, shoes always wet, fingers numb. It meant grey skies and an early, heavy darkness that made everything feel slower. In school, the work got harder. Essays, lab reports, group projects. Ria could have handled it easily. She had handled more in India. But now there were distractions, group chats buzzing till past midnight, Netflix, the secret thrill of knowing Karan's friends, who treated her like she'd always been here. She still got decent grades, B+ where she used to get straight A's. Teachers praised her as bright, just needs to focus more. She rolled her eyes and smiled, then went home and scrolled through Instagram instead of revising. Arjun struggled more. He missed homework deadlines, failed a quiz, shrugged when teachers called him after class. "It's different here," he told Ria one night. "Back home, we studied because there was nothing else. Here my brain doesn't stop buzzing. So many options, so much noise. How can you just sit and read?" "You have to," she said automatically. "Otherwise." She trailed off. Otherwise what? In India, the answer was clear. You'd be stuck in some small private college or low-level job. Here, everything was still so new that the consequences felt distant. "Anyway," Arjun said with a crooked smile, "if I don't get a big job, I'll work at ShopRite or 7-Eleven. Everyone does some job here. That's also life." He said it as a joke, but the words lodged somewhere deep. The first real fight came when the school sent home progress reports. Papa spread the printed sheets on the small dining table, his eyes moving slowly over the English comments. "What is this?" he asked, his voice too calm. "Last year in India, you both were top students. Here, teachers write, distracted, needs to participate more, missing assignments." Ria felt her face burn. "It's just one marking period," she mumbled. "It's an adjustment." "And you?" Papa turned to Arjun. "D+ in history? C in math? You used to beat even your sister in math." Arjun stared at the floor. "It's different here," he repeated. "They teach differently." "They teach differently, but other students are passing," Papa snapped. "We did not come here for you to become ordinary." His gaze hardened. "From tomorrow, no more going out after school. Straight home. No arguments." Ria opened her mouth to say it wasn't fair. That American kids went out, that they needed friends, that they weren't living in Punjab anymore. But she saw his tired eyes, the lines etched from warehouse nights, and swallowed her protest. That evening, Karan texted, "Park at 4? Got something better than beer?" Ria stared at the message, then at Arjun. "Papa said," she began. "Forget it," Arjun said bitterly. "What will he do? Follow you to the park? We're not children." Ria hesitated only a little. They went. Years slid by quicker than anyone expected. Ria finished high school with average grades, good enough for a local community college but not for the big universities she had once imagined. Money was tight. Her parents could not afford out-of-state tuition or dorm life. She enrolled in a 2-year program in business administration, telling herself she'd transfer later. She never did. Between classes, she took a part-time job at ShopRite, scanning groceries and saying, "Have a nice day," until the words lost meaning. The paychecks were small but regular. Her managers liked her. "You are quick, Ria. Responsible. Maybe we make you shift supervisor one day," they said. The first time they said it, she went home and cried quietly into her pillow, remembering the IIT brochures pinned above her desk in Ludhiana. The 5th time, she nodded and said, "Thank you," without flinching. Arjun's path was messier. He barely graduated high school, passed by the skin of his teeth. College never really happened for him. He tried one semester at county college, dropped out when he failed 2 classes, and told everyone he'd take a break, figure things out. The break never ended. He jumped between jobs, stocking shelves, working the register, delivering food. For a while, he worked nights at the same ShopRite as Ria, joking with her in the aisles, making faces behind difficult customers' backs. Sometimes, after closing, they'd sit in the empty parking lot with Karan, passing a bottle between them, the old habit now too deep to question. Their parents aged quickly in those years. Papa's back grew worse. Sometimes he had to lie flat on the floor just to relieve the pain. Mummy's hands were rough and cracked from constant work and cold. They had finally saved enough for a small down payment and moved out of Masi's basement into a tiny townhouse at the edge of town. "This is for you," Papa said when they moved in. "So one day, you both have somewhere stable. A home in America." Ria and Arjun smiled, hugged them, posted pictures on social media. New house. So grateful. Then they went back to their shifts, their friends, their small lives that were not what anyone had imagined. Partners came and went like seasons. Ria moved out first, into an apartment with a boyfriend she'd met at college, a tall boy with a beard and a soft, careless laugh. For a while, it felt like a dream, cooking together, watching shows on the couch, pretending they were adults in control of their lives. Her parents visited once, bringing boxes of food and small kitchen items. "You could have stayed at home," Mummy said quietly when they were alone in the tiny kitchen. "Saved money. We would not trouble you." "I need my own life, Mummy," Ria said, trying not to sound harsh. "Everyone moves out here. It's normal." Normal. The word said everything and nothing. The relationship ended after a year. Ria came home briefly, the room already half-filled with her old school books and Papa's spare clothes. She stayed 2 months, saving up, then left again with a new roommate, this time just a friend. Arjun followed a similar pattern. He lived at home longer, arguing with Papa more, always promising to get serious soon. Then one day he announced he was moving in with his girlfriend, a cashier from another store. Mummy cried, quietly and constantly. "We worked all our lives for you," she said one night, sitting on the sofa in the dark. Back in India, parents give everything so children stay close. Here, we gave everything so you could go far, and you went far away from us, but not far in life. There was no answer to that. Years later, Ria came back to the townhouse for Diwali. The street outside was quiet, no lamps, no patke, only a faint glow from the neighbors' Halloween decorations left over, plastic pumpkins and a sagging skeleton. Inside, Mummy had placed small diyas on the windowsill anyway, their trembling flames reflecting in the black glass. Ria stood in the doorway, taking in the familiar scene, the sofa with fading upholstery, the old TV, the framed photo of her and Arjun in graduation gowns from high school, the last time they had both stood side by side looking hopeful. Papa was thinner now, his hair almost entirely white. He walked slowly, but his eyes were still sharp. "You came," he said simply. "Of course," Ria replied, but guilt gnawed at her. She hadn't been home in months, always one more shift, one more outing, one more reason. Arjun wasn't there. He'd moved to another state with yet another girlfriend, sending WhatsApp messages full of emojis and promises to visit next month, for sure. Next month never came. They ate quietly, the thali filled with chole, puri, halwa, old tastes in a new country. After dinner, when Mummy went to wash dishes, Ria and Papa sat together, watching the diya flames die out one by one. "Oh, do you ever regret coming here?" Ria asked suddenly. Papa was silent for a long time. Finally he said, "Regret? No. We did what we thought was best. In India, you would have had other problems. Maybe different struggles, maybe same." He rubbed his hands together as if he were cold. "But sometimes I think we brought you to a place that gave you too much freedom before you were ready. Back home, the cage is too tight. Here." He gestured vaguely at the dark window. "Here, there is no cage at all. And when there are no walls, some people get lost." Ria's eyes filled with tears. She remembered the first beer bottle in the park, the way Karan had laughed, the way she hadn't stopped Arjun. "I was supposed to be the responsible one," she whispered. "The intelligent one. Teachers used to say I would go very far. But look at me, Papa. I am just a supervisor at ShopRite. Arjun. He is floating." Her voice broke. Papa looked at her gently. "You think job title decides your worth?" he asked. "Yes, I wanted more for you. Every parent wants their child to stand taller. But what really hurts?" He paused, choosing his words. "What really hurts is not your job. It is when you both forget us. When the house we made for you becomes an address you visit once in a while, not a home you carry in your heart." Ria couldn't speak. Tears slid down her face. "I won't say you are spoiled," Papa continued softly. "I will say, this country confused you. In India, you knew exactly who you were. Here, you kept trying to become someone else. Somewhere on that road, you dropped the parts of yourself that were strongest." The words landed like stones, heavy but true. Later that night, after her parents had gone to bed, Ria stood alone by the window. Outside, the cold air pressed against the glass. She could see her own faint reflection, older than she felt inside, the brightness of her teenage years dulled but not gone. In that reflection, she also saw Arjun as he had been at 14, eyes shining when he talked about calculus and computers, dreaming of designing rockets or robots. She saw herself in her old school uniform, braids tied neatly, head bent over a physics problem. She saw two children boarding a plane in Delhi, clutching their parents' hands, full of ambition and faith. She pressed her forehead against the glass. "I'm sorry," she whispered, to them, to herself, to the version of Arjun who might have been. In the quiet house, Mummy shifted in her sleep. Papa's soft snoring floated down the hallway. They had built this life brick by brick, shift by shift, believing in the shining promise of a better future. The children had not become what they imagined. They had jobs, not careers. Rooms, not houses. Partners, not marriages. Freedom, but not direction. Still, the house stood. The parents waited. The diya on the windowsill, the last one, burned low but did not go out. Ria wiped her eyes and made a small, private decision, nothing dramatic, just a beginning. Tomorrow, she would talk to her manager about going back to finish her degree part-time. She would call Arjun and not just forward memes. She would visit home more often, not only on festivals. It would not fix everything. It would not magically turn them into doctors or engineers or icons of immigrant success. But somewhere between the strict cage of the country they had left and the endless, dizzying freedom of the country they had entered, maybe there was a middle path they had missed. Maybe it wasn't too late to try and find it.